Welcome to another episode of the Momentors Podcast, a platform where I speak to business leaders, change makers, and entrepreneurs sharing in on their entrepreneurial journeys. And of course, today I'm joined in the studio by none other than Ruvimbo Haruvisi. She is a brand strategist, having studied aviation in Ukraine.
Yes, Ukraine.
Welcome to the Momentors Podcast.
I am so excited and delighted to be here.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Dr. Maureen, for giving me this opportunity and inviting me to your fantastic podcast, the Momentors Podcast. I'm very excited to have this conversation with you today.
Absolutely, and I'm excited to have such an entrepreneur. You are a powerhouse because when I was reading, and I've just stopped there to say, you studied aviation, but actually are in a profession and are an entrepreneur as a brand strategist.
Yes.
And have formed two other companies, Vibe Creationz and Conversation and Cocktails.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back then.
Yes,
Let's roll back. So tell me a bit more. You studied aviation in Ukraine. Tell me a bit more about that.
Well, a bit of background. My mom, who's a single mother, my father passed away when I was 4 years old, so I was only raised by my mom. And she was a flight attendant with Air Zimbabwean, hospitality in the skies.
Okay.
It was really a childhood of traveling, very warm, motherly, and I just, wanted to be in the skies. I wanted to fly. Went to high school, applied to the Ukraine. They've got the National Aerospace University in Kharkov, which is the second biggest city in the Ukraine.
Wow.
And I did 5 years there studying engineering, avionics, which are electronic systems on an aircraft. So your radios, your sensors, just to give the audience a bit of insight.
Information and insight. Yes.
So then did 5 years in the Ukraine, learned how to speak Russian even.
Wow.
And read and write.
Wow.
And it was very tough because it was a change of environment. I mean, the winters were brutal.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
The worst was, I think, minus 27 degrees or something.
Wow.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Wow.
But it was an experience, a wholesome experience. It made me grow.
Yes.
It made me adapt.
Yes. Okay.
And it just made me strengthen myself as a young person who's trying to find their footing in a different world, different alphabet, different language. It was just, trying to find your footing, but I managed to do it and I graduated.
Wow.
I came back home. And that's when, that was around 2015, and things were really tough, so to say.
Yes.
My mom had also been retrenched, so things were really tough. And I think it's innate in all of us, especially Zimbabweans. Like, okay, what's the next plan?
Wow. Yes.
What are the next steps?
Finding the next strategy.
I need to find the next strategy.
Yes.
And that's when I had to adapt and pivot.
Right.
I had a friend of mine, very close friend of mine, Christabel. She was like, "Oh, there's this marketing agency. They're looking for someone, who's on their tours."
Hold up. So we want to talk. So I want to go back because you're talking about, you're studying 5 years. There's a lot there.
Yeah.
There's a lot there. So we don't want to run away.
From the 5 years. Okay.
Because part of this podcast is as getting our audience and young entrepreneurs coming up to learn from people that have been through. Entrepreneurs that have been through these experiences. So working and living in Ukraine, having to learn a new language, having to learn a new culture, how was that for you? As a black woman, as a young black woman, beautiful, foreign in a new land, how was that for you? Penetrating that market, let's talk about some of those that experience there.
That experience was, like I said, it was wholesome, but it wasn't without its own challenges.
Okay.
It was financially challenging, and it builds character.
Yes.
When you are okay, I'm a young person, how am I supposed to be financially independent in a country where I don't even have relatives?
Yes.
My mother's not even here.
Yeah.
And I think that's when I started believing in being people-centered.
Right. Okay.
We had our own group or crew of Zimbabweans.
Right. Yes.
And it was a good support system.
Yes.
There in the Ukraine, we really supported each other very well.
Wow.
And I ended up even getting a job from within someone from our community, which was to translate, to be a translator.
Wow.
Yes.
Really amazing.
Yes, so had to do that for one summer. You know, the summers in Europe,
Yes.
you've been in Europe 3 months.
Yes.
So working that for 3 months was really tough because you have to translate for people who are awake in a different part of the world. So it would be like maybe from 10 in the evening to like 4 a.m.
So you're letting a lot of adaptability there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or maybe in the morning, like from 11 a.m. until like 5 p.m.
Yes.
And you're young, you also want to go to the beach, you also want to go to the lake, but you know, you have to rein yourself in.
There's a lot of growth that takes place.
Yes, so there was a lot of grounding, and a lot of accepting that it's okay to accept things happening to you, not at you, to you. It's okay.
Absolutely.
You know, take it within your stride. And also, I want to give a shout out to my professors, especially philosophy.
Wow.
One of our majors was philosophy, and it really helped me understand some concepts about life, you know, socially, even your mental health and awareness. Especially, I would encourage young people to really get into philosophy, read your Marcus Aurelius, your Seneca, learn about different philosophies as well, just to understand where the world started, where people started building, how to handle some of this pressure, some of this things that we think we cannot manage, but you'd be surprised at how strong you are.
Absolutely. When there's more understanding of where you come from. Yes. Absolutely. Amazing. So thank you for sharing that part. And I really wanted to bring that out to say, you know, how has that helped to groom you to be the person that you are, and you know, making the decision to come back home. So what motivated you? I mean, obviously you've started this amazing, well sought after, you know, I don't know who doesn't want to be flying or understanding about airplanes and aviation. It's certainly every woman's, you know,
most people dream about it, like, oh wow,
absolutely.
I want to
power job. What motivated you to come back to our, you know, as people say, our troubled country, our, you know, country with so many challenges, economy is unstable, turbulent. What motivated you to come back home?
You know, I think it's the lack of fear at that time. Because you've been in such a brutal environment, you're like, what's Zimbabwe? I can manage it. But not only that, but it was also my mom. She's a big part of my decision making. She's lost all her siblings, so I felt like my mom was very alone. And I just wanted to just come and be supportive. And also me, I'm very Pan-Africanist.
Wow.
I love being African. I love being, especially that side in Ukraine, they used to call me Chocolate de Vushka, which means chocolate girl. So I was like, I'm gonna go back home, you know, filled with confidence, aspirational, like, I can do this.
So all that exposure, bringing it back home, and of course your family being your grounding. And I love to hear that, you know, your family, you know, you came back home for mom, being a support network. She was your support network, but then this was a vice versa, where you're now also supporting us. That's really heartwarming to hear. And I hope some of the young girls listening are just kind of taking notes from that.
Yes. So then with that, you know, you come, and now it's like you step into reality now. Like now you have to execute. You've got your degree, and I know most young people struggle with the transition from I've graduated from NAS to use hit, you know, cut.
Absolutely.
What's the next step for me?
What's the next step?
How should I do it?
Yes.
And I, you know what? It's okay, guys. It's really tough.
Absolutely.
You know,
yes.
getting to, for some it's easy,
yes.
but for some people, you know, it's really tough to transition into this new next world.
And what were some of those nuggets that you can share with any young people that may be listening just before we go on to the next segment? You know, what are some of those nuggets to share with them, you know, because how do they adapt after university? You know, how do they adapt, you know, with this challenging economy? You know, what are some of the things you use?
Yes. Okay. Well, some of the things that I used is because of the lessons that I learned in the Ukraine. Like I said, I had to look for a job to support myself. So when I came here, I was like, you know what, Mama, I've managed to save this amount of money, like $50. Can you help me with another $50? And I think I want to sell airtime. Back then, I think airtime was a big thing, like selling airtime. So I had my $100.
Yeah.
And so it's okay to look at something else whilst you work towards your ideal goal, and when you reach towards it, not just to sit and twiddle your fingers.
Wait,
you know,
for the opportunity.
Yes, just what's in your sphere of influence? What can I touch on that can help me, you know, make a bit of money, be independent?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's something that, you know, helped me start building a
absolutely
bit.
Lovely. So I love to hear that, you know, make, you know, opportunities are readily available within what's available to you. So, you know, use those opportunities that are available now. So if you're watching and you're thinking, you know, I am just waiting, I've just finished studying this amazing degree, I can't get a job opportunity, but, you know, look around what you could, you know, use to really take yourself, keep yourself busy whilst until the next opportunity avails itself. I think, you know, what's in your hand, as the Bible quotes, you know, what's in your hand. So use the resources that are available to you now, and that opportunity will come along. And I'll be talking more to yourself, Ruvimbo. Thank you so much on the next segment. Welcome to another episode of the Momentors Podcast, and I know I am talking to Ruvimbo Haruvisi, a young, amazing powerhouse lady who studied aviation in Ukraine, in a foreign country, made the decision to come back to Zimbabwe, and has since founded 2 companies, which I'm going to be talking about later. But she's not only founded companies, she's actually moved on to a whole different new career of brand strategy and marketing. Tell me a bit more about that move.
Yes, that move was very tough for me, and you know, just looking for attachment, looking for a place. And in Zimbabwe, the options are very, very limited. It's either here at RG Airport or at Charles Prince Airport, and it's a very male-dominated field. So it felt like the guys were scared of me. So I was like, okay, fine. I'll take my talents elsewhere.
You took a dog. No way.
No, but I did get an opportunity with Charles Prince Airport. I had a stint there. And for me, with what was happening at home, that's why I would encourage young people, if you love something, if you're passionate about something, really, really put your all in it. It's something that I'm now learning with what I've started, that you cannot run away from putting your energy 100% into it. It's not that I did not try then, it's just that the level of difficulty, no one had ever really walked me through it for me to understand that it's okay, you know, it'll get better, just keep pushing, keep working towards it. One day things are going to open up and work out. So for me, that it was very difficult. Then I had to make a plan. And I transitioned into marketing and branding. I also want to commend my bosses who took me on. I was a brand development, Tavi Moti and Christopher Maakata. They're a big part of me being where I am today.
Wow.
And
Yes, shout out.
And they believed in me. Where I had zero experience in marketing. I didn't even know what a Gantt chart was.
Yes.
Or a media campaign was, but we'll get to that part. Yes. But taking lessons from my degree and what I did, it taught me to pay attention to detail, which is something that has really elevated me in the businesses that I consult for, that I work with.
Right.
It also helped me with systems building. It also helped me with structure, and precision. So it was easy for me then to adapt and move into where I could transfer my skills.
Yes, I love that. And I think this is a very big learning curve, and it's certainly a big lesson to anyone who's watching who may be thinking, well, I'm stuck. Would you say opportunities were not presented to you in aviation? I mean, this is something, and part of this podcast is to bring some of these challenges. We want to bring them out. So would you say opportunities were not presented to the female girl child? That was a challenge on its own. So anyone watching who's in that industry, we want to see more representation of the girl child in these spaces.
The barriers to entry it's not only aviation. My heart really cries out when people graduate. The barriers to entry are made so tough, especially in Zimbabwe. It's like, where else am I going to learn? You want me to go to America and learn there versus me building my skill sets in my own country. Everywhere else, they're developing their nations, the young people.
Yes.
They're working towards building their nations into great nations. So for me, the barriers to entry in most of our establishments make it very tough. I understand probably the reasoning behind it. Like, we want people who are dedicated, who are 100% committed, who are disciplined in this field. But also, some people are able to learn on the job.
Absolutely.
You cannot lose a talent because you've got all these barriers to entry that some people just cannot meet. And probably they can meet them, but then they
haven't been presented the opportunity. You need to be in there for us to adapt and be able to utilize.
And they then discourage you because remember, things are tough. So someone has to look for fuel to go up and down. Even like combi fare. It's hard for some people to get it.
Absolutely.
And you're supposed to go for like 3-6 interviews. You're supposed to look for suits and everything. So that also, those barriers and the experience, you just come out of grad school and
you don't have that tenacity, so it's certainly, information and certainly a conversation to be had, by obviously the rightful aviation department. So, we're going to be taking that on to say, guys, we want to present less barriers, for our young people to enter these establishments. So yes, thank you for sharing that. I think that's really important. So going back then to you then found yourself you were presented an opportunity by friends, family, maybe people that believed in you, and you're where you are now, having how has that journey been for you? In terms of adapting, into a new, completely different career. How has that been for you?
Okay, it's been rewarding, but I also want to say it wasn't a departure; it was an evolution.
Okay,
it's okay to evolve.
Okay, absolutely, absolutely.
So it was an evolution, and now I'm in this situation, and I'm working towards building something of myself, and it's a lot of telling yourself not to be afraid.
Absolutely. Don't be scared to take
Don't be scared. Don't be embarrassed. it's okay. Keep pushing, keep doing it. There's something within you, and I thank God as well. Everyone has got something within them. If you dig deep and you just, tell yourself, I can do this, I can make it.
Absolutely.
And manage to get into branding and marketing. And with those skills that I had, just paying attention to detail and being responsive were a game changer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, those soft skills, they were a game changer. You know, there are little things that you think are not necessary, but you need them.
You need them. And I think, you talked about, some of the skills set that you had taken from your previous, qualification. You've been able to move them across, like paying attention to detail. I can't emphasize that enough. I think it's a very important time management, possibly, and many other, skills that we may not see, how important they are for us in any trade.
Yes.
So never underestimate any learning opportunity.
Yes.
I guess that's a message to put out there today.
100%.
Okay. So then you've gone on to not only find or start one company, you've started two, and that's Vibe Creationz and Conversations in Cocktails. So tell me a bit more about these two organizations.
Okay.
What are they about, and can you go into it a bit more? Vibe Creationz to start.
All right. So Vibe Creationz, this idea came to me during COVID, not pre-COVID. During COVID, we all had to be in our houses.
Yes.
And had to survive. So then I transitioned into digital marketing. And so from engineering systems, went into human systems. And human systems, studying how people think, what people want, how people behavior, So got into digital marketing, and that's when it really took off, because everyone also had to be home and everyone was on their phones or on their TV, no one was working. So that's how Vibe Creationz was born, and it was really centered on my own personal self awareness, which is, what do I really love? What do I really like? I love connecting people, so me loving to connect people, it was a transition of, I was doing my own thing with the digital marketing, and people then started, I see what you're doing. Can you also do it for me? Can you also do it for me? Then I start doing it for that person. That person's like, who's doing that stuff for you? And the person will be like, it's Ruvimbo. Then the person gives me a call. The next thing you know, we've got, full-blown digital, agency.
Wow. So I guess it's not always every challenge that a country may be going through. It also comes with its own opportunities. We were in the middle of a pandemic, and I've heard so many stories of a lot of people who scaled up in business, started new businesses, had new ideas, and they have flourished since then. And this all happened during that pandemic. I love the fact that you're talking about having started your business in the middle of that pandemic. And how has that grown now? How is that doing now as we speak? How is that business doing now?
The business is doing well. It could be better and bigger. It's got its own challenges, because as you grow, there are certain things that are required of you. So we're in the middle of also transitioning, being compliant, which, as young people, you make sure that your business is compliant. Absolutely. With the regulatory that are there.
It's so important. Yes, it's so important. I'm happy with the progress. It has managed to open up opportunities for me as well. That's how we then transitioned into Cocktails and Conversations, which is hosted by Cultured Republic. And Cultured Republic is a lifestyle empowerment movement. So I love the fact that you're talking about systems, processes, the importance of compliance in business, and that's a story that can make or shape you. That's actually a part of the business that a lot of people avoid, and I've had my own lessons learned from, not being compliant, and and having to suffer the consequences of that. And I always want to encourage young people out there, anyone starting a business, make sure, who do I need to be registering with? What do I need to be submitting? I need to be legal, because you can make a great business, but if you didn't have these things, systems, processes, compliance with the regulators, then you could get cut short.
Yes.
So well done for putting your house in order, and we'll be continuing on the next segment.
Thank you.
Welcome to the last part of this podcast, and yes, we continue with our conversation. You was talking about Vibe Creationz, and you also went on to start Conversations and Cocktails. So from what I'm thinking, Conversations and Cocktails, tell me a bit more about that organization. What is it for? What's that platform for? And who needs to be connecting with it?
Oh, great. Cocktails and Conversations is hosted by Cultured Republic. We're a group of young people who've come together, and one of our principles or concepts is Ubuntu. I am because you are. It's a lifestyle empowerment movement, fashion, music, events, and just our lifestyle. And our main event so far, which is really flagship event that's really making the rounds, is Cocktails and Conversations. It's hosted monthly. It's a business mixer. This is for entrepreneurs, startups, your C-suite, your CEOs, and your creatives. It's really a platform where people can come and engage, connect, conversate, and collaborate.
Yes.
The reason why we started this is because we saw the opportunity where, as Zimbabweans, you're probably just a few people away from what you're trying to achieve what you're trying to do, and also in a relaxed setting, not, and sometimes most of the people that you want to pitch your case to, or people that you want to connect with, when they're in the office, they're not always available. So that's why we then came up with this concept, so that people can then engage, people can connect and collaborate on deals.
Absolutely. And I love that, because with this, I think this is where I met you actually.
Yes.
So if it wasn't for Cocktails and Conversations, so big shout out to the Cocktails and Conversations event.
Yes.
And I think there's something happening today actually.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to joining you guys later. But what we're saying is, I met you at that event. So there's always somebody, the third person to someone knows somebody who knows, who can give you an opportunity. So it's really amazing that you've come up with these cocktails, and for CEOs, for business owners, and people are meeting in a relaxed atmosphere. Forget the suit and jacket. Just go there, dress presentably, and mingle with the right decision makers.
Yes.
So I absolutely love that. And as a person who talks about your network is your network.
Yes.
So look around the people who are around you. If you want to build your network.
Yes.
So well done for that amazing platform. And how can people connect with Conversations, and where can they find you in terms of your social media pages? How can they connect?
They have to look for us at on Instagram and Facebook. We're on all digital platforms. Absolutely. At Cultured Republic.
Cultured Republic.
Yes.
So that's the main body that then hosts these other events.
Yes.
Absolutely. So Ruvimbo, then, thank you for sharing that. What would you say to your younger self if you had to, do things differently? I love your story, because you're coming from a completely different part of doing business or career, and you've ended building brands as a strategist, excelling in that. What would you say to your younger self if you had to tell yourself a lesson?
Oh, all right.
Or 2?
My younger self, I would say, don't be afraid. Really don't be afraid. Pursue. If I can use this word, Tomaranu.
Absolutely. Tom.
Yeah, no, you know what? Because don't get discouraged too easily. That's what I'll tell my younger self. Keep going.
Keep on keeping on. Yes.
And you know what? It's the ideas. God has blessed us with so many ideas. Just have the spirit of gratitude and just believe in yourself. I know it's hard, especially when you're looking at your level in life.
Yes.
Because there's some people who like to compare themselves, and if you're comparing yourself, you're like, but no, you've got your own journey to chat. Focus on you, hold fast. And
you're
you
unique to yourself. Yes, absolutely. I love that. Coming from Ruvimbo Haruvisi. Yes. Thank you for coming on the Momentors Podcast. And her lasting words are, believe in yourself. Keep pushing. Pursue, and overtake. Pursue and overtake.
And be the vibe you want to feel. Walk into the room and whatever you want to make people to feel.
Absolutely. Let that energy flow.
Yes.
Be that unforgettable lady in pink. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yes, breast cancer.
Absolutely. And thank you. Okay, we'll touch on lifestyle. You're also into that. So tell us a bit more about that and as we conclude.
Okay. No, I'm very passionate about our women's health and taking care of ourselves.
Of course, I see you're dressed in pink.
Yes.
For breast cancer awareness.
I actually did go for a check.
Okay, well done.
What really motivated me is I lost my uncle to cancer 2 years ago.
Sorry
and it was
that.
very traumatic experience. And so I'm really trying to champion us women as well to really take care of ourselves. And men as well, but especially for women because things are more tough and more stigmatized when it's women.
Yes.
But I'm really fighting. I hope I'll come back here on the Momentors Podcast and I'll update you on the next project that we're working on, which is wellness.
Wow,
so
lovely.
I'm really pursuing that.
Being intentional about that.
Yes,
I love it. I love it. And I hope if anyone's watching out there, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I love to see you in the pink. And I tried my best to be nearer to the pink. I've kind of exhausted my pink wardrobe. I do have my nails on the pink. So yes, I hope if you're listening, and I said about breast cancer awareness, it's not about females only. Actually, we want to conscientize even the men, because the men need to be telling their wives, their daughters, their sisters, getting them. Everyone needs to be responsible when it comes to breast cancer because it's affecting our mothers, our sisters, females across the world. So it's so important for us as a community to really take ownership of that. And I love that you're coming up with these well-being projects, and I'll certainly love to have you back on to come and discuss and tell us more about that. But as for today, thank you so much for coming to the Momentors Podcast. Any lasting words to the audience?
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Maureen. I'm looking forward to this growing, the Momentors Podcast, and thank you so much for this opportunity. And my lasting words, let people feel your work and serve people and just be 100% dedicated to what you are doing. And if dedication is a challenge, just be the best version of yourself.
Absolutely amazing. I love that. Servitude. And when we serve, the money follows.
Yes.
I definitely know that. So thank you so much for that lasting, impactful words from Ruvimbo Haruvisi, the Momentors Podcast, powered by Drevental Car Rental. Thank you. Until next time.
Thank you.